Have you ever wondered why tortoises can live such long lives? As a kid, I used to think that it was because they were slow. But now, as an adult, I'm way more informed. And I bet that after watching this video, you'll be an expert on the subject too. So let's get started. I think we should start with the basics. What's the average lifespan of a tortoise? Well, it really depends on the species. The smallest ones only live for about 100 years, while the biggest ones can live for more than 300 years. It's even longer than some human lifespans. And even though scientists have been studying these animals for decades, they still don't know exactly why they live so long. But they have some pretty good theories. The first one has to do with their diet. Even if you've never studied zoology, you probably already know that what you eat has a major impact on how long you live. For example, if you eat a bunch of processed foods, you might not live that long. But if you stick to whole foods, you might live longer. Something similar seems to be true for tortoises. Studies have shown that tortoises that eat more plants live longer than those that eat more animals. And that makes sense because eating plants requires more energy than eating animals. And the more energy you expend, the faster you age. Also, plant-based diets are generally healthier and more nutrient-rich than diets high in animal products. And this is true for both humans and tortoises. So if you want to live a long life, you should probably eat more plants and less meat. But the food a tortoise eats isn't the only thing that affects its lifespan. The temperature does too. You see, when a tortoise egg first hatches, it's not assigned a gender. Instead, the temperature of the nest determines whether or not the hatchling will be male or female. If the nest is on the cooler side, the eggs will produce more females. And if the nest is on the warmer side, the eggs will produce more males. This is called temperature-dependent sex determination, or TSD for short. And it's not just unique to tortoises. Many reptiles use this method to determine the sex of their offspring, including turtles, crocodiles, and alligators. However, TSD isn't super common in birds and mammals. In fact, there's only one mammal that we know of that uses it, and that's the American opossum. Now, you might be wondering what this has to do with a tortoise's lifespan. Well, nests that are on the cooler side tend to produce more females, and females tend to live longer than males. Now, this doesn't mean that male tortoises can't live for a long time. It's just that on average, females tend to outlive them. And it's not just tortoises that exhibit this trend. Many other species, including humans, also tend to have females that live longer than males. One theory to explain this is that females invest more time and energy into parenting, which in turn makes them more resistant to stress. And since stress is a major contributor to many health problems, this could explain why female tortoises live longer than males. Another theory has to do with the Y chromosome. See, all of your chromosomes come in pairs, except for the Y chromosome. Males have one Y chromosome and one X chromosome, while females have two X chromosomes. And the Y chromosome is pretty special because it's the one that determines whether or not you remale. Now, over the years, scientists have noticed that the Y chromosome tends to degrade over time, which means that it might not be around forever. In fact, some scientists believe that it could disappear altogether in about 10 million years. And if that happens, all life on Earth would become female. Now, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But one thing's for certain, it would definitely make things interesting. So there you go. Those are some of the reasons why tortoises live for over 100 years. They eat a healthy diet, they have more females than males, and they have a special trick for determining the sex of their offspring. But the truth is, scientists are still trying to figure out exactly why they live so long. But one thing's for certain, it's not because they're slow, that's just a myth. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified every time we release a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.